Hey everyone, Andreas Park here again. In this set of slides, in this video, I want to do two things. I want to very briefly run you through existing commands or alternative commands in from the API that you can use for Rotman Interactive Trader. And secondly, I want to also very briefly discuss with you how to write an algorithm and make it useful for the software that we have. Now we're going to do this with a concrete example of algorithmic trading, and we're going to spend most of our next lecture, the one pre-reading week, on this. So with that, let me very briefly move you and show you the commands that we're interested in. So with that, I'm going to Canvas, and I'm in Canvas. I am showing you, oopsie-daisies, you don't need to see this. In Canvas, I'm going to show you the commands. So you have to go to the page of RIT User Guide, and in the RIT User Guide, you just click on the PDF file, which I have opened here. So, you know, hopefully you have seen this documentation before. This is the one that you need in order to get any information that exists of the possibilities and options that you have in RIT. So if you go to page, let's say page 15 of the document, it describes something that we had done before, which is the how to submit an order. There is various different versions of this. Now the first thing is you want to know which commands exist, and for that I'm going to flip back to our macro model, and if you go in this left hand side here, and if you go and type in API, which is the command that you need to use, and a dot, then you can see how this little window opens that tells you this little drop down menu, if you want, opens, and it tells you all the different possibilities that you have for functions that are given by RIT. So you can have add an order, you can cancel an order, you can get information about your losses, you can get information about your existing orders, you can get information for the tickers, which essentially is in RIT everything that is in this portfolio here on the right hand side, and you can get information about the time remaining and so on and so forth. So there's multiple different functions that are available for you to use. I'm not going to go through the details of all of them. You may find them useful though when you write your commands and programs at a later stage. So with that, let me quickly go back to the documentation just so you know how it works. The syntax means that the way where they use your inputs is almost always the same. I'm just going to scroll down a little bit here. So you've seen already the command, which was how to enter a market or a limit order, right? Which was basically the command. Let me just put this here. It is an API which says you create a status. This is just the return value. When you send something to RIT, you get something in return. In this case, for an order, a simple order that you submit is a true or false answer. So that is just the return value that you have. What you send there is, said something for a particular ticker symbol. Then we have this range number here. This is the volume that you will be sending. There's a price that you pick, and then there is a range, which would be whether it's a buy or sell order. So I'm not going to go through the details of this. You can see how this works later on. I just want to point out that there's a second command that you have, which is add a queued order. Really the most important difference to a normal order is that it gives you an order number. Why is that useful? Well, if you want to trade with limit orders, you may want to have the ability to cancel orders if the occasion arises. So I'm not going to go again through the details here, but I think you want to think about the different options that you have. Now, as I scroll through this document here, if you go further down, you find a lot of different commands that you have. So first of all, you can cancel an order, obviously. You can, for instance, get the current period that you're trading in. You saw before there was an accept or reject a tender offer or a particular offer, because you already saw some cases where somebody makes you an offer and you have to make a decision. You can write a piece of code on that one too, and so on and so forth. Right, so you can see that there's a lot of this information available, and what would be really cool is at this stage you have the ability to actually tackle most of the cases where you had decision rules, and you would be able to write this as a command that you have in RIT, or rather a command that you have in Excel that controls RIT. Now with that, without wanting to go into the details, all I'm saying is there are particular commands that are there. They're at your disposal now. You can see how they work, and therefore you can use them. I'm not going to go through all of them, obviously.